You are not a product of your neighborhood. Most of us think that where I'm from is what I must represent. It's not the case. It's a choice that we are representing a hood or representing a place, and we're allowing a place to define who we are. So, what that means is that, let's say, for instance, if I'm from Liberty City or if I'm from Poker Bean Projects, most people would say, just because I grew up there doesn't mean I have to act like I was from there. You see what I'm saying? So that means that at some point, you must outgrow your environment. So if you don't outgrow your environment, then that's a definition of who you are. So here's what I would say of how you would, here's the best idea of how to go about redefining who you are based off the environment. So today's point today is about your environment peer pressure, right? Or your environment pressure. So look at what's around you. I would say look at what's around you and see what's going on. If everybody act like you, or somebody else act a little different than you, or if everybody has the same view as you, then there's something wrong with that. At some point, when you all have the same view, or if you're in the same environment, but everybody has the same kind of viewpoint of where we are, who we are, that's not correct, because where you are doesn't make you who you are. It's a part of who you are. You see the difference? So a part of who you are and who you are is different. Because what that should mean is that, yes, I'm from over there, I'm from Liberty City or Poker Bean Projects, but at the end of the day, man, it should be more of my goal over here is so much larger than where I'm at today. It doesn't define who I am. It's just something that I can say, hey, I'm from over there, but over here is where my goals are. So once you identify that, it gives you a better blueprint of your environment. So remember, you can't change your environment right now, but you can change your mindset of your environment. So you can say, this environment does not define who I am. It's not going to make me to do something that I shouldn't do that's going to be detrimental to my brand or detrimental to who I am. What I am going to do is go about going over here and place my mindset on things that is of a different environment, of a different place, of a different idea. So when I place my mind on a different idea, what that does for me is that it sets me apart. It sets me on a direction that, again, it sets me on a place where I can say, I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. I'm defining who I am right now in this moment. I'm making the right decisions. Now, if you settle in where you are right now, that means that you're allowing the environment to make you make decisions and then blaming your environment, saying that I am the way I am because of my environment. I am doing what I'm doing because of my environment. Those are making excuses for something that you have the ability and the responsibility to go about making the right decision. So here's how you can go about changing that. So when you have a goal or an idea of where you really want to go, then that's going to define your decisions. That's going to define your responsibilities. That's going to define your abilities to get to that point over there, right? So it's one thing that you can be able to say, you know, I'm going to really lock in. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to strive for what I need to strive for. I'm going to strive for the thing that it seems impossible to reach. I'm going to do that. I'm going to set a map today in my life and make sure that I achieve that thing, right? So when you go about achieving it, it can say where I was from, I didn't allow it to define me. I allowed my goals and my dreams to define who I am. So the question I ask you today is, are you going to allow your environment to define you, or you going to define who you are? That matters. And I think that should matter to you. And if it doesn't matter to you, I would say identify what's holding you or keeping you held down to that environment or place or just people or circumstances. Because if you don't know what it looks like, if you don't know what the thing that you want to do will look like, then no one can come alongside you along the way to help you get to where you want to be at. Understand that your environment is an environment, right? Environments can change. So, what is your idea of who you are? That's the thing I want to ask you today, is do you have an idea of who you are?